DeJounte Murray will be in his starting lineup for Doc Rivers, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Tony Bradley for the injured Joel Embiid. Seth Curry and Ben Simmons will be in the backcourt.
Oh, yeah.
Never miss the Sixers when you're on the go. Simply stream the game with the My Teams app. Being brought to you
Chris
by
is listening to basketball. Yeah, baby.
Hello. Are we live already?
We are live already. We got people in. Welcome aboard, everyone. Welcome aboard.
Why is that coming out? That speaker. Very exciting stuff.
How do I sound?
You sound normal. You sound great.
Figured it out. Here's what it was
You
doing.
want to walk us through it? Should we do another admin show?
I mean, I was just so pleased because I did figure it out. It was very quick. Yeah. So that's good alerts that those are working. We got so basically what it was is the mic was doubling up. Also, Chris, I think, is frozen or he's having an attack of some kind. Oh no, he's good. How was your streaming day?
It was okay. So I'm trying to find.
Are you having your technical meltdown day like yesterday was my technical meltdown day?
Well, right now, what I'm trying to figure out is, here we go.
Yeah, why do you have the background border of the Predator screen on yours? Because I can recognize it because I also have an updated mine as well.
Yeah,
Let's ball. These background is phenomenal today.
Top notch. Absolutely top notch.
That's either me or you edited it as.
That's you. That's you, baby.
Very good.
Today's stream was everything shut down. My internet just decided to go really slow. I think it's because I tried to send something over over WeTransfer
while doing a stream.
Huge audio files. No, and it just shut my whole internet down. So
you took it down. How did the rest of your house deal with that?
They were pretty upset. John's gone. Well, speaking of internet problems, hi everybody. How's it going? We're back now. I was trying to figure out how to stream games on Steam earlier. Hey, buddy, did you do the third button again on your mouse?
You did.
Yeah.
Right.
It looked like you're having fun on Goose Game. How did you get the game up? We need to talk about that. Maybe not right now, but because
simple. Are you? I have two screens.
I set up a second screen. Is that it? You put it on the other screen?
Put it on the other screen. It's on the other screen, and then I just share that screen.
Oh.
Are you not sharing the screen? Are you trying to do game capture? Because game capture sounds complicated, so I didn't want to do it.
I did try to do game capture, and what I did is I moved the chat over to the other screen so that I could see that, and then leave this because my other screen is just my tablet.
Well, Chris, I got to tell you, I'm from Dallas, and we down in Texas, we deal with love in a little bit of a different way. And the important thing to remember,
justice.
This is Texas justice right here. That's what happens when you're a pinko. Look what his wife's dressed like.
Big friends with men with beards.
Yeah.
Your head gets blown out. John, by the way, your head may get blown out.
Let me tell you this now. If you and your brother fuck a blonde woman.
Oh,
I mean, I like that stamp a lot. I like that stamp a lot.
That is amazing.
I'm going to make them smaller. I now know how to do that.
I think it's very funny that it covers your whole face.
I know, but it's as do I. There's a part of me that likes it, but what I want is in the corner. Here, try it. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. We're slowly getting. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't feel like I've wasted my money with this computer. Because here's the thing that I do enjoy. For the first time ever in my life, I have a work week, right? I've also accidentally built an office.
Mm-hmm. I told you that yesterday. It's an office. It's not a man losing his mind gradually. It's a home office.
If you walk in, you're literally like, what happened? Like, the super came in because I finally just was like, hey, can you guys help me hang some goddamn framed pictures? And they're like, we'll just get a drill. And I was like, I got a broken elbow and shoulder. We're not drilling nothing. You fucking do it.
I like that you yelled at him over a thing that I feel like you never asked him to do in the first place.
Absolutely. I filed so many work orders. There was like a bunch of things that just needed doing. And I finally just ran into him in the hallway and I was like, hey man, I know you're super busy. Can you get to it at some point? And he's like, what about right now? And I was like, get in there, chap.
Hi. Hi.
Whoa!
Whoa.
We're in Delaware. Oh my God, I can actually do the Delaware thing. Oh, Delaware green. Oh my God, why have I in Delaware?
Richard, remove.bg is a lifesaver. I use that for everything that I make for verses. It's so fucking great.
Where is that fucking Wayne? I need to find that right now. Why is that not the background for? We're in yeah
Delaware.
Oh fuck yes, I found it. Oh, that's really good stuff. All right, save. I'm gonna upload that. Pop over here. We're in Delaware. Nice. Shit, he minimized it. I didn't minimize it. It's just smaller. Hit it.
It's not as fun. You got to put it right on your face.
I'm putting it right on my face.
Canceled. And take out the white around it so it just says canceled, and then it's just a stamp on your face. Canceled.
Oh, I actually like that. I do want the canceled to be on my face.
Yeah, make it a PNG.
Let's make it a bit smaller here. I just wanted to go like right on my forehead, like this.
This is watching us enjoy our new computers feels like when my dad got a new phone for Christmas. I was just watching go, oh,
yeah, I'm fine with it. It's also like oh, you don't know all about that no technology? Yeah, man, I was too busy getting this dick sucked in 2000 to learn about computers. This is what I was fucking doing. You know what I'm saying?
Alex couldn't help herself. Had to correct me. Chroma key. PNG isn't enough apparently. Damn it. Damn it. Us and our dick suckings.
Yeah. Well, I was too busy in Delaware.
Oh, Delaware. move your camera over a little bit. We got your wall in there.
We're in Delaware.
Delaware.
Oh, this is so good.
Hey, we're not sad, and we're not boomers, but we're not well.
Yeah. We're in Delaware.
Yeah, come on.
No, it's so crazy that this is now where the president of the United States is from here. I'm so happy. I thought Delaware.
That's so funny, man.
Is that how you got on the Comedy Reserve, John? What do you mean?
That I'm stuck in ways, I think.
Oh yeah. I fucking smashed it, bro. That's how I did it. Both Chris and I, both veterans of the Comedy Reserve. It's a delicious poison chalice you drink from because they pay you and it's so great. But also at a certain point, you're like, oh, you're no one's first choice.
Yeah, we made a big mistake, but also I made a bunch of nice friends. I remember one of my nicest memories is because my set went crazy well. I had a really good set. And I remember I had to leave because my adrenaline was pumping and there were too many people in the green room. And I went outside down those little stairs and you brought up the next act. And then you just sent me a message because you couldn't find me. And you were like, you smashed these turkeys.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, man.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, yeah, I did that many. Yeah, she make the. You should make Finsbury Park a green screen. Oh, what's John 3 do? Did anything? Nothing's flashed up.
Nope.
Maybe it's the green screen on this is fucking with it.
I need to figure out how to get my camera full thing too. I don't know why it's a square.
That's very odd. Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'm just enjoying that I'm figuring shit out. The fact that I was able to figure out the microphone thing really made me happy. How was the rest of your day? Also, starting your day with Goose Game, it was wonderful. Because I've been struck. Yes, good. Okay, that still works. It's exactly what I wanted to work. I'm fine with it covering my face. I just didn't like it covering the whole screen.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You should take out the white in it though, just the red.
That's wrong. I don't know how any of that's happening. And I'm not gonna. Alex has done so much. I'm not gonna start criticizing her fun added jokes. What was I gonna say? Getting up and just streaming right away. Great. It was weird. Because it was like calming. It was just sort of like doing a little bit of the fucking nonsense here and there, just some chat, a couple of fucking technical hiccups. But what are you gonna fucking do?
Nice.
Boo!
Nice.
Where's the sexy voice? I fixed it. But yeah, some of these fucking days, I feel like I'm fucking busier in COVID than I was before because I missed the just ease of stand up.
What the fuck is that?
That was me. What? Show me that again. That one. That was me doing something in America, with the American flag.
Yeah, you had sunglasses on and you were eating a giant white something.
Oh, that was me. When I did a character show, I believe, where I was an alt-right comedian. Yeah. I basically just made intense in jokes about the LA stand-up scene because you do meet like alt-right dudes that say things like, yeah, well, Sarah Silverman isn't funny. And you're like, she provably is, you fucking loser. Let me guess, you love Compound Media? That's pretty great. Enjoying the stream. Tip the man.
That's not supposed to be on there.
Is Owen Benjamin a Hastings character? Do you know who Owen Benjamin is? This is great stream content before Liz Mealy gets on. Do you know who Owen Benjamin is?
No, who is this Owen Benjamin character? Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's watch some Owen Benjamin stand up from before he was alt-right. I want you to know that this is pre alt-right Owen Benjamin.
Okay. Hit me.
30s. I'm trying to grow up, I go into Starbucks and order some shit. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a large coffee. They're like, what's your name? I'm like, Denise. I'm like, stare
So
at
he's a hack.
I'm 6'7". I'm not a tall man. I'm a fucking bear. It's a different thing. So I'm like, Denise, I'm from France. It's my name. And I've looked it up. They have to write whatever name you say on the cup. They can't make fun of your name. And the guy looks back at me. He's like, how do you spell that, Denise? I'm like, you fucking know how to spell it. And at that point, everyone knows what's happening, but no one can stop it. That's the best thing.
All right, so that's his stand-up.
I hate that. I hate that a lot.
Not good.
Ooh, I hate that. Ooh, it's bad.
Not Owen Benjamin.
Ha. Yeah, I don't. Anyone that made a Starbucks joke after 98 can go fuck themselves.
And then he went on Joey Diaz's podcast, as seen here.
Did he get radicalized by Coco?
He took he took a bunch of edibles.
In the ass.
Uh-oh.
Lit on fire and dropped off at Cosby's house.
Also,
Oh shit. Owen Benjamin. What's up? Lee Sayed. Uncle.
I'm going to say this right now. It's
Well, I don't know that one, Richard. I haven't watched that. I haven't watched nearly enough Lewis Black. I keep meaning to, and then never get around to it because it's
Richard,
unless I'm walking somewhere quickly, I don't want someone yelling at me.
that Lewis Black's joke is that that's all time, and that's what Alzheimer's is like. Walking out of a Starbucks and seeing another Starbucks across from the Starbucks, which doesn't exist anymore, but there was a time. So this is now he takes too many pot edibles during this podcast.
Okay.
It's really fun.
Owen, we feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm just
get some air.
Yeah, I'm fucking crazy high though.
Okay, you want more water?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
let's do some water. Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh,
I like it also
Okay,
whenever
more
someone
leaf.
says do water, that's always a bad sign. You don't want to be, can I please test a video after this YouTube clip? You can. But first we have to do water.
Papa Joey here helping out.
Too, I saved you because I
Thank
like
you, man.
that his voice changed a little bit. And I
Oh,
know he stays
no.
in a lot more.
Oh man.
Tremendous. Yeah, those things are strong, Owen. Yeah, you just relax.
Man.
This is the devil here tonight.
You don't
He's
say
literally-
that to someone who's so high. This is
Yeah.
the devil here.
Exactly. You don't do this. You don't fucking do this to this poor bastard.
Don't put the idea of the devil in his mind, you ass.
Oh yeah, no. This is
I want
Black Sabbath right behind him.
Where's the fucking light?
How does fucking Owen Benjamin not got DCMA'd all the fucking time with all of his Frank Sinatra playing? So then that's what happened. So then Owen Benjamin did that. Then Owen Benjamin. See, I'm trying to find he's been sort of wiped off the internet because he said some crazy shit about gay wizards.
Great. What a fucking combination. Oh, in comes Bjorn.
Oh, look who it fucking is. Oh, did that work? Oh, okay, that one we need to make big, actually. Hang on. I want to try that again. Oh, let's make that. Oh, and then Olga. Okay, let's make that bigger, though. Even bigger. Oh, that's so good. Because I want to kind of block. I just want it to be your screen. So that just. Oh, but it's not. Fuck. It's not all going to work.
You know what I can do? I have the. I think I have the video of that.
Just fucking having some chicken, mate. Have yourself some fucking chicken. Oh, that wave is wonderful stuff. He looks so American there, I gotta say.
He really does. I mean, shirtless with a bucket of KFC.
I think
Gerard Depardieu would look American.
I have a few favorite things about that clip. I have a few favorite. That is so fucking good. Doesn't necessarily need sound. I mean, I like that it doesn't have. I like because it's also so long and how much waving there is. This is very good. The stream has really kicked it up a notch. Owen Benjamin. I'm trying to find an Owen Benjamin clip where he's going really fucking crazy. Oh, here's one. He's
of corporations and government lobbying and all. What do they know? What is their biggest weakness?
Wow.
Make the immoral appear moral, which is very different.
This is actually something that you've said once. You once said about when I was on a comedian's podcast in Los Angeles, who may or may not have been Jay Moore. Is you said, oh, that's some really good junky logic he uses, which is such a great way of saying,
yeah. There's a lot of wild jumps based on misfiring synapses. It's like, I get it. You fucked your brain up and now you're not the same.
Difficult to do.
Ben Folds wrote a great song about it.
That's not fair. 77 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, but a friend of his who took too much acid, climbed up a tree, came down, a born-again Christian.
Go to work. And then you just see her at Subway. So we all know at this point that a woman is much happier and much safer and much more content making food for a woman, making food for a man who loves her and provides for her, than Subway, where she works for pennies to pay off debt for people who want to rape her in the parking lot. Drunks.
What?
I mean, the amount of He does streams for like we're talking like 6 hours yelling about how his dad's a gay wizard. Hours.
Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, guys, this is what you're saving John and I from. We're 6 more months of Twitchless lockdown from being Owen Benjamin.
I mean, it's so good. I mean, I'm really enjoying hello, happy evening.
Trailer Trash Psychos. What's up?
Trailer Trash Psychos. Welcome aboard, Trailer Trash Psychos. Please feel free to follow along if you want to. What was I going to say? It's one of those things where I could never feel myself becoming an alt-right person. Ooh, Trailer Trash Psycho, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Hummus Chums. Woo-hoo. From Strobo Hobo, John Colton, make sure John stays respectable. I mean, you think that I did teach me Colt forgot to learn. I taught him about the Dadaist art movement and realized that he is a postmodern wrestler.
Huh. Go on. Explain that.
It's the idea that he grapples with, he takes the conventions of wrestling and subverts them through comedy. And it was very interesting realizing I think he walked away with a feeling quite chuffed, which I was happy about.
Yeah.
How
does he? In what way does he do that? I've never seen Colt wrestle. I only know him as.
It's all very it's like comedic and ridiculous. Like it's really like he looks like a jockey superhero, but it's like a lot of like weird, goofy play with the crowd, like super big, broad, not slapstick. Like it's a lot more subtle, sort of stuff like that. Yeah,
nice.
It's weird. It's also I forget that he's like a longtime senior wrestler, which I always find fascinating.
Yeah, he looks way younger than us.
Yeah, and he's 41, 42.
Amazing. Good for
Doesn't
him.
drink, never drank, doesn't smoke.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Clean living, no sugar. It's very simple. Like there's a reasons why he looks the way he is. Get fucked, shed grandpa coming in from Diamond Geyser about Owen Benjamin. But yeah, go back to that is comedians in this time. It's very interesting. All of the people that have gone all right, like there is a Canadian comedian who lives in the UK who's gone right off the fucking absolute map. Like he's making
Private
a
chat.
fucking wet. I mean, it's Craig Campbell. I'll fucking say who it fucking is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Craig.
Yeah, of course. We all have.
Jesus, he's lost it, man. My fucking God.
Yeah, just fucking making a web series for David Icke. What the fuck? If David Icke's your boss, it's time to kill yourself.
He actually works for David Icke?
He makes a web series for David Icke's media company.
Oh, I thought you meant like as in like he loves David Icke and he's just sending them in these fawning videos. But okay.
No, it's even that he's I assume in some sort of profit sharing arrangement with David the Lizards. Also, and this is something that always bugs me about conspiracy theories. Very like this is so fucking inside and it's so good. This is something that has always bugged me about conspiracy theories. Like skeptics will be like, when he says lizards, he means Jews, and I go, you know, he doesn't. His followers take it as a metaphor. David Icke is not working in metaphor. Like, if anyone thinks he's working in metaphor, you're a fucking loon bag.
Yeah, he's not that subtle. There's no subtlety to this guy. He's a fucking mess. But I mean, this is a bit that I used to do, but it does work. If you ever come across someone who tries to tell you that Jews or anyone else is lizard, just go, what kind of lizard? There's nothing specific. They have
That's
no
really funny.
anything past
That's
lizard.
really fucking funny. Do they not have anything after lizard?
I mean, there's one theory that, because I had a friend of mine who got super deep into it years ago, and he read this book, something of Eden. I can't remember, and apparently it's like they're sort of iguana-ish, and they have two hearts. There's one in their throat and one in their chest, and that's why like Rasputin couldn't be killed, because they didn't get both of his hearts, and he was a lizard.
That's not why Rasputin couldn't be killed.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not because he was a space lizard, John?
No.
You positive?
And then a bunch of stuff. I did it, Alex. I've done it. I did it. I just did it while we were talking about David Icke. The thing with this is that so David Icke, how do I say this? David Icke, Craig Campbell, conspiracy theories, lizards. But Rasputin was killed just because he was a super drunk guy, and like there's a bunch of non-skeptical reasons why he didn't die the way that everyone says he did. Part of it was also he just straight up just didn't die. Like he just like that just didn't happen the way that people say it did. People just lied.
Yeah, of course. He became an urban legend. He's not a fucking lizard.
Yeah, but it's just it's so funny, like the amount of things where it's like, no, they just made that up. That's just gossip. It's not true. And they're like, no. It's not true. It's like, yeah, it's just never happened.
Hey, he's still alive. I believe it's Nicolas Cage. Have you not seen that? Nicolas Cage is Rasputin. Never died.
What?
Never died.
I mean, it's very funny. Because I'm also like, I've been around enough shit now where stuff happens and I'm and it didn't even fucking things happen and I'm like, I was there and that's not what happened.
Oh yeah, 100%. What's that? It's that old Louis bit. He's like, you ever tell someone a story and you've already told it to them before, but by this time you've added a bunch of lies to it?
That's
like,
good.
Yeah, that's all of us. That's how you tell stories, because you get halfway through and you realize that it's not a good story, and then you lie. Oh, did you hear what happened to Rasputin? I saw him down in the street, and then he got stabbed 40 times, and he didn't die. He definitely didn't just buy milk. We're witnessing live admin here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to narrate this.
In a second, I did.
I
see. I can see what
John
she's trying to test, and I love it. I love it.
Trying to understand it all. There's a lot of settings involved now. He's not a settings man.
I got to know. I was just trying to. I accidentally just turned something off that I didn't need to turn off. There, fixed, done. Good. Try it now. This next one's real hot, I think. If it's this next one's real fucking cool. Bump. Can you hear that?
No, but the alerts don't make sounds through StreamYard.
Yep, great. But
yeah.
Sounds works. Oh, it's so good. Oh, yes, I can hear it. Oh, what's great about everyone turned into my stream, or Chris add in this alert as well for your stream, so that there's so much admin in that clip. Oh, it's very good.
Is there donkey in that?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh, so it must just
what stream do you think we in, John? I know, but the morning gaming streams where it's not in StreamYard is the main fucking thrust of the situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet up with Alex later in the week, and we're gonna video the shit out of my face.
I heard a noise, but I didn't hear. Nothing came up, Alex. So we were on David Icke. What were we talking about? Craig Campbell, conspiracy theories,
Rasputin. Lies, how stories become lies.
So many of them are lies. Like I've been at places I've had stories told to me where I was there and they've gotten it wrong. For example, I was having drinks with a bunch of comedians and they were talking about how at the San Francisco comedy competition, the winner was such an arrogant dickbag that the other comedians got cleaning supplies and started just cleaning up the stage behind his fake speech he made everyone sit in on.
No way did anyone do that.
They 100% did, because I was the one who organized it and was part of the people. I plugged in a vacuum cleaner and walked on stage and started vacuuming a stage because he talked for so long.
Wow.
And I got the story
what did he
back.
Talk about? Who did he thank?
He thanked his wife. He thanked his children. He explained that they weren't technically his children because he doesn't believe in that. They were his stepchildren, which right there was as soon as that, and that was like quick. We thought we were in for a quick speech, and then right there we're like, this is not going to be quick.
That's a real Royal Tenenbaum move. And of course, my adopted daughter Margot.
That's what it sort of felt like. I got to tell you. But he was the story was being told to me, and the guy kind of intimated that he was like, "Yeah, man, I was in the back. I was in the back. And I was like, "Wait, backstage?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No, you weren't. I was there. Like, remember me? Do you remember the guy that existed in that plane? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just admit you're lying."
Yeah. And he did it again. I don't think this is ever going to stop you guys. He's going to yell, "Just admit you're lying, put my face on it. We're going to clip that, and it's going to make it look like I'm the liar." This is bullshit. I am
so good. That was so good. That was so fucking good. I was laughing like a little boy back there. Oh, it was so good. Oh, that was really fun. Oh, I'm so happy about it. Oh, no, what? So much so? I'm headed to Delaware.
Oh, fancy Delaware.
Oh!
So what happened with the speech? Oh, the story so they just said that they were back there and they weren't there. And
they were there and they just weren't there. It was fucking insane. Like it was just, I was like, no, but that was me. I'm me. Like remember me? Remember how but he was telling the whole story and I was like, no. And then it was also like, yeah, it also got weird because he was like, no, that's no, but like, don't you like, he was like, dude, like, don't you remember this? And I was like, no, because that didn't happen. And I would know because I was there, man.
So he'd been fed a bunch of lies and he folded those lies into his lie story. And now the biggest lie is that you've been lied out of it.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It was me, Alex Cole, another guy named Sal, all that sort of stuff. Let's ask Liz if she's ever been cut out of a story.
Oh yeah, bring her in. Also, I want to know who won that. Who is this asshole? Hey, how's it going?
My hair looks so big. Oh god.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. You look very like Long Island Bridge and Tunnel, New York, right now with this hair. Like you have to go to Chippendales in the 80s. Yeah. Sean Kent is the comedian's name, and he's a real bag of shit.
Sean Kent, real Owen Benjamin.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love hearing about awful people. Tell
We
me
just
more.
were talking about Owen Benjamin moments ago. Do you know who Owen Benjamin is, Liz?
I feel like I've heard his name. Is he the one that became like super Republican and
Oh boy, like more than super Republican.
Yeah.
like? But he didn't start out that way. Like he started building a fan base and then went like super into it. That's all I really know.
Yeah, it's interesting. He was more like he started he needed to build a fan base because he kind of got booted out of Hollywood for being a guy who played the piano and was, to quote the waitresses at the Improv, a real creep. And
Ooh.
then headed on, like moved to upstate New York and started playing the piano and just talking about gay wizards.
I think I heard some of this.
Yeah.
Also, hi Chris.
Hey, Liz, good to
I haven't
see
seen
you.
your face in so long.
Yeah, it's been ages. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me,
Good.
guys.
Oh, happy to
problem.
have you.
Um,
I sent Liz a few messages during lockdown to ask her about how mailing lists work.
Yeah.
During like brief moments of like, I'm gonna be productive. And I'd send the message and she'd send all this helpful stuff. But by that point, my depression had kicked back in. And I was like,
Makes
nah,
sense.
no one
I
wants
was
to
like,
hear from
he'll
this
get-
guy.
He'll come back.
Yeah.
He'll come
Yeah.
back. On an up. I'll meet you on the up.
That's why I kind of like doing this, and that it feels like it's productive enough, but it's also stupid enough that I'm not like, we're back at it yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
are you, Liz? Because I always think of you as being in New York, but you said your time zone denotes not East Coast.
Yeah. So I've been in Florida for a month. I leave Wednesday. So that's also why my hair's really big. I went to an outdoor aquarium, and like the Florida air was like, I tell my friend, she's like, you should move here. I was like, I'm not going to move to the small town in Florida. She's like, you should move here. And I go, curly haired people cannot live here. Like every day I'm like, stop it. Stop.
But I hear what you're saying. But here's the thing that Florida has that LA also have is the weather is wonderful.
LA is wonderful. Florida is swamp ass all the time. Like it's great right now because my alternative when I got here mid-February was like snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm, and I have been very spoiled because I don't think I grew up in Jersey, so I've always been East Coast, but I have not really experienced a typical winter in probably 8 years because I would go to Australia or I'd go to England where you guys have kind of a more mild winter. Like I'd go to the South. Like I always purposefully booked myself to not be around so that I would show up around spring, and people would be like, the winter was awful. I was like, oh my God, tell me about it. There was one cold day when I was here and it sucked.
Yeah. I haven't had a winter since 2012 and I love it every day. Like it's and I'd go home for Christmas, get a taste. I remember it was minus 45, which I don't even know what that is in American. But it's
Sounds
like
cold.
It was so fucking cold. And people were like, you can handle it. You're a big guy. You're from here. And I'm like, assholes. I haven't lived this in however many years. Also, I have none of the like body adjustment. I went from like it's plus 10 to minus 45. That's 50 degrees. That's like suck my butt.
Also, like, okay, so you know how like you work out and you gain muscles and it takes you forever to gain those muscles, but if you don't work out for 2 weeks, you lose everything you've ever worked for. I feel like that works the same way with like being able to tolerate cold.
Yeah.
So just
100%.
because you spent your whole life in the cold, I swear to God, you spend like one winter away and your body's like, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, because your body shouldn't have to be that cold. It's unnecessary and rude and stupid.
See, I'm a West Coast baby, and so I still like romanticize the idea of terrible winters. Like Montreal winters are still like a dream to me. I think they're beautiful, and I love the crisp air and all this bullshit because I just grew up with like
You can
maybe
make
some
a
rain.
coat on your face. Look at me and John. Like we don't make coat faces. Like you're here to
You can wrap that
That is true.
the sweet curls right around there. There
Look
you
at that.
go.
I just beat you.
Yeah, you're safe.
Just taping your hair to the side of your face and walking down the middle
Like, what do
of
you
the
need?
road.
What do
in
you
the
gentlemen
bathroom.
need? An axe?
Thank you so much for the follow, Matt Puzzle Guy. But so you're in Florida. How did you end up in Florida? Was it just a pure like, I got to get out of New York? Also, by the way, can you please just accept this compliment of thank you for being someone I know who lives in New York, who left New York, because everyone else is just in New York acting like, hey man, it's still New York. And it's like, you're in a studio apartment. It could be fucking anywhere. Shut the fuck up.
I'll say this. This is my first time leaving since the pandemic, and I was leave every weekend like we all are. I, wanted to like, we'll put it this way. My alternatives of leaving weren't great. And I have a cat that I feel close to, and she's, I've abandoned her so much with touring that it actually felt good to be home for a year and actually take care of her. So I truly was somebody that like, I'm here, I was in Europe. I mean, I was in the UK and about to fit, like in the middle of my European tour, and like came home to be a part of the epicenter. Like I was like, don't get diseases without me, guys.
Popo, don't kill all those old people with other old people or harass ladies without me, Liz.
Yeah. And, I stayed and ruined my relationship, and that kind of freed me up a little bit.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Yeah, no, don't, I think us never seeing each other was a real bond for us. So
my dad had a marriage like that.
Yeah. This is what I don't understand about
To who? Hang on.
To his first wife.
Okay, great. All right, now let's let Liz have a nice man bash.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand about men. It's always like I want to hang out.
Liz, can you just put on a blazer and then roll it up to here?
Yeah, all my stuff is in my closet. I feel like it's always like women talk and women always want to hang out and women are always around. And I am a woman that's never around. I do talk a lot. That is a fact, but I'm never around. And that seems to be a complaint with all my exes, that I'm never around. And then I was around and they didn't like that either. So I really think my charm is not being around, and people need to start listening to me. I am most charming when I'm not around. Yeah. So I was very around. And that ended, and I went back to my own home, where me and my cat and my roommates live, and did that for a while. And then my friend here, she's a wedding videographer, so she has a very distinct, how like we have a distinct touring schedule. Like I don't really do much in the summer. I actually was more busy the pandemic summer doing outdoor shows than I've ever been during a summer. And then I don't know about
those shows later on. I'm curious about the atmosphere.
And I don't know about like you guys, but like December is always really dead for me. Like I just make $9 in December. So I would say like last week of June to first week of August, I make $12, and then all of December I make $9. And she's a wedding videographer, and it's like truly like April to July. Like that's when she makes all her. Yeah, that's it. Like, and she just makes. So she was like, "Hey, I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything. I'm sad. You're sad." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like my best childhood friend. Like we had 5th and 6th grade together, and then she moved to Tennessee, and I moved to a different part of New Jersey, and we've kept in touch. And like we used to go back and forth. Like I'd see her in Tennessee. She's in Florida now, clearly. Are
you from the Sopranos part of Jersey or the wooded area part of Jersey?
So I'll say this. I never heard it until somebody in California asked me. I've never heard that one. I heard, "Are you Philly Jersey or are you New York Jersey?" And I was like, "Oh, I love that. I'm Philly Jersey." So
gotcha.
I'm in the center, and I get very angry when people call it Southern New Jersey because it's central. I'm in the hips. I'm like right outside of Princeton. I grew up in Princeton until I was like 12.
Wooded area, New Jersey. That's what I always think of as.
You know how we're called the Garden State? I live by the pretty stuff.
Okay.
Here's the thing: is New Jersey, if you're
literal,
in New York,
not the ironic.
Yeah. Everyone's like, New Jersey's the grossest thing, and then you drive like a mile into Jersey, and you're like, it's a bit industrial, and then you drive 3 miles, and you're like, this is a fucking postage stamp of America.
Yeah. Exactly. So a lot of like old buildings, pretty trees, some preserved history, I guess. I don't know. It was so funny. I remember my dad's like, "Someday you could go to Princeton." And I was like, first of all, not smart enough. Second of all, why would I move out to move a mile away? Like, why would I do that? Like, why? Like, I know I only went to New York, and I really wanted to go to California. And then I went to Australia, and I was like, that was the distance. That made it helpful. But it's Jersey. Like it doesn't matter where you grew up. It's all a terrible personality, but I am.
Yeah, but that's just East Coast American. And you don't have a bad, like, it's also, by the way, everyone in like New York, New Jersey, that brash personality, they're never wrong. And also 100% better and more nice than English people. Like,
I kind of agree with that. Like, I always get really offended when people say New Yorkers are like assholes, because I was like, actually we're impatient, and we don't I'm not going to listen to your whole life story after I hold the door for you. But I will, like, you'll see like a dude that looks like a murderer, like help a woman with her baby carriage down a flight of 900 steps. But they don't even stick around for the thank you. Like, it's just, so it's like you do what you got to do to be a human, but we're not doing any niceties before or after.
No, it's also the thing with New York is like, and I actually think like everyone is like very nice, aware of their city. London is the same as New York, but people are going out of their way to be an asshole.
Really?
I had 2 flat tires on my bike once, and I was just walking a flatted tire bicycle down the sidewalk, and a man walked up to me and said, I don't like when people have bicycles on the pavement, meaning like don't have your bicycle on the sidewalk.
Great.
Like, bear in mind,
the mayor.
You're
Bro,
walking.
Otherwise, go
just
fuck
a guy.
yourself.
Just a guy by that other Tesco's. If you're coming down Seven Sisters Road in the area that we've all like, Liz has also spent some time living in the house that Chris.
Yeah, Liz stayed in Murray.
I touched your stuff.
Yeah.
You touched your stuff. Yeah.
I
really built up an insecurity about how little I read. That's really what I got.
I know. Imagine living there and just him and his wife are having a nice time, just each quietly reading books, and you just walked in being like, I just watched a YouTube video where a panda farts. I'm not even going to tell you guys about it.
That's almost 100% how I talk to people. So that seems really, you're such a piece of shit, Chris.
Yeah. You know but the most annoying thing about it is he's read all of those. That's the annoying thing.
And I like to read. It's just that I'm a slow reader, and it's never anything. I read like a graphic novel, and it's like I literally could talk to my brother about it. That's about it.
Well, which graphic novel was it?
It was so this woman named Allie Bosch. She's
so funny.
She's amazing.
So funny.
What is this? I want to find out about this.
Her biggest book was 8 years ago called Hyperbole and a Half, and it's like she does these drawings, and they're kind of like not good but good at the same time. I don't even know how to describe them. And
Allie Bosch. Here we
go.
Yeah.
She's so funny, and her drawings they're so good. I actually started with her blog, like reading her blog when I was in college, and they came up with this book, and then she got really sick, and she just came out with a new book. Can't even think of it now. It was good. It was a little, some of them was a little weird.
Solutions and Other Problems. That's what
Thank you.
Called. Yeah,
So in between reading a book that was really sad and hard to read, I read a graphic novel in between. Like I was telling somebody, they're like, "Oh, how did you finish that book?" And I was like, "I started it and I read the first 250 pages in 2 weeks, which is pretty good for me. Then I read this graphic novel, and then I spent a month reading the last 50 pages. And that's how I read. I take breaks.
250 pages in like any amount of time. That's really amazing.
Thank you. I try to educate myself because I grew up in New Jersey and I like to surprise people. I'm like, I read, but then most of it is like graphic novels and silliness.
But you pick it up, like the amount of shit I've picked up from the television show Frasier and cultural references of just like, what does that mean? And then looking it up. Like, I don't like people look at that like, no, you're supposed to know who fucking Plato is from reading the fucking Republic. Or it's like, I was too busy being fucking rad in high school, so I didn't have fucking time.
I love the idea of being like, it's not enough that you know it. How do you know it?
How did you know? You Googled
find
it?
This out?
Trash.
Yeah.
Did you Wikipedia or did you check the citations on the Wikipedia?
If you've ever checked a citation on a Wikipedia, that's what I was.
Look at this rad dude.
Yeah, that was fucking me just being rad, bro. Well, yeah, Liz hasn't seen me when I was super tubby.
I love it. I love a good tubby phase. That's actually why like, you know, when you meet somebody and you're like, why are you so nice? And then 100%. You're like, oh, tubby.
The amount of people that have said to me in a very insulting manner, how are you a comedian? And I'm like, wait, what? And then Brendan Burns, because he has no personality. He's like, you look too nice. It's got to have been something else. And I was like, oh, it's fat as a kid. And he's like, there it is. And I was like, that's fucking bullshit.
You have a strong jawline. And I honestly, you had to have been abused or fat. Like somebody with the jawline that you have. Something I've had also
but I'm from Canada, so the thing Canada is not like, the US makes sense in its bullying, and they like focus in on like the nerds, et cetera. Canada, it's willy-nilly. They just pick random people and just go for it.
Yeah, we're better at spotting a unique weakness.
I mean, the amount of therapy I'm currently in is startling.
So, you even brought some up on my Zoom Diner show. What part of Canada are you from, and what part of Canada are you from?
You have to say which one because we don't know which one
Chris,
you
well,
pointed
it's
at.
both of you. At some point, both of you. Chris, where are you?
I'm from Vancouver, West Coast.
Okay, I have yet to be. I was supposed to go there April of 2020, and that clearly did not happen. I also went to Canada for the first time in February of 2020, and I had never been anywhere, even though I know because all my friends went there in high school because you could go
Drink.
Yeah, and I think it was before you needed a passport. And I couldn't go because my dad was really strict. And then I just started going to Europe. So I had never been to even the stuff that was closest. So I went to Toronto. Did you help me with Toronto? You might have helped me with Toronto.
John, maybe
John?
would. I didn't know many
Maybe.
people there. If I mean, I would have if you asked, but I don't know that many people.
The amount of help this is not. I'm not trying to, but like, if you get my contact information, I am giving you all of my I am just there's so many people to help me out. I'm like what's the key to getting a recommendation from Hastings? You find my personal Facebook. It's very easy.
No, I think you helped me with Toronto. A couple of people, because I'd never Montreal, like Toronto, I actually have a fan base. Montreal, I didn't. And it wasn't until the week before that I was like, this might have been a mistake. And then luckily, like, people showed up and it was really fun. And then people were like, do you know French? I was like, I barely know English. I was like, really think.
Where were you playing in Toronto and Montreal? Comedy Bar, I assume, in Toronto.
Yeah, Comedy Bar. I did the small room.
Great.
That's a fun room. I like that room.
Yeah. I did the small room at or maybe I did. No, I did the big room, the 150 seater.
Nice.
Is that the big room? Yeah, I did the big room.
Did you leave the audience lights up because otherwise it's a void, or did you?
I did lights down.
Lights down, lights up. What are you?
I don't know. I don't, dude. Zoom has been such a hard. Like, I don't want to make eye contact with these people, let alone know what they like, what kind of couch they got. Like, it's too much. It's too much. I don't like it.
I literally want the audience to be pitch fucking black. Like, I literally want to walk out and be stood in a black hole like darkness.
Yeah.
But you, like, even when there were 4 people, when you were doing open mics, there were 4 people in the room, you would deliver to the back of the room and not make eye contact with anybody.
It's called anxiety. You got some fucking problems?
Yeah. It was terrifying.
You want to fight about it? Because that'll fill me with crippling fear.
I like to see them. Not all of them, but at least the first couple rows. And I remember Comedy Bar when all the lights were out, it was just like a thick darkness.
I don't want to shoot him.
I don't want to feel so like, I hate when it's like it blinds you, like, because I wear contacts where you're just like, oh, this is where stigmatisms come from. Like, I don't want it to be so but I want to at least see some shoes, know that there are people there, but I definitely want it to be as dark as possible. Also, I think it prevents people from like doing stuff, and people feel really insecure taking out their phone, which they should. None of my fans are doctors. Like, nobody needs you. Okay. Like, put your phone away. But I have to say, I've really struggled in Zoom shows because it's like, I don't want to look at my own face. So then I put it in gallery mode. But you know how there's always like, you focus on that one person that's having a bad time, even if you're doing well. I swear to God, I just find all the faces that seem like confused or upset or worried about me as a person. They're just like, these jokes seem personal. Like, and I just can't. So I've learned to like, just look at myself in a tiny box, and I don't like that either.
Yeah.
I just don't like, I'll just move the Zoom thing like to the bottom corner, like as my set's starting. So I just don't have to see anything. And I kind of just recite it out and then move it back.
We must look like just sad drones to people.
I mean, it is a bit weird. It's also weird. Like, Chris, you haven't done any Zoom. Oh, speaking of which, by the way, on Friday, I will be doing my new hour, slowly working through it. Just email John Hastings podcast at gmail.com if you'd like to attend. John Hastings podcast if you'd like to attend. But how many Zoom shows? Because you were running your own Zoom show. How was that?
Oh, that's the best thing I ever did for myself.
Oh, fucking good.
So it's a new material workshop show, which is honestly like, not that I ever did this with every comic I've ever met. It's really just with like a couple of girlfriends. So Maria Shahada is a good friend of mine. Adriana Bellucci is a good friend of mine. Carmen Lynch. So it's like usually just.
I liked her album.
That's a
Okay.
fucking murderer's row right there. Jesus Christ.
That's my family. Yeah. So like for me, they know me so well as a person and as a writer, so that if I tell them like I'm working on this, or like I'm stuck here, or this part works but this doesn't, or like I just can't figure out where to take it next, they're the perfect person like in between spots, or like after like a night of doing spots to run stuff by. And we always did it in a diner at like, 1 a.m. or whatever. So my thought process is during the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't want to put my polished stuff, because you're just going to lose confidence in something that works and it's awkward. And then I didn't want to I just put out my special, or I was about to put out my special, and I didn't want people to just see me recite something that's going to be better done in the special. And I hadn't been, so I was like, the only thing I really miss right now is working on new stuff. And then I was going to run through it too fast, and I don't write that fast that I can do new stuff. I was doing it every 2 weeks, that I was like, I'll just bring my friends in. I'll make it pay what you can. And it ended up like financially helping people, and ended up financially helping me. It's pushed me to write in a way that I've never written this fast and turned over stuff, like to the point where like now, even if I did have writer's block, I have so many like premises and a couple of punchlines to a bunch of ideas I don't even have time for. But I would say, I've come up with 40 minutes since April, and I polished most of them via Zoom. And then, they weren't perfect by the time I started doing like park shows and rooftop shows, but they were in a good enough place that once I started getting like a real audience, it took a couple of tweaks instead of like, I don't know, here's a premise I thought of when I was sad in April.
Yeah.
That's
was
awesome. That's fucking
what
great.
I liked about it, and it was already giving me a push, but also doing these trial shows is also that feeling of like, when things start up again, I'm not going to be I will be behind the 8 ball in terms of I haven't performed in a long time, but it's not going to be like, my fear was literally come out of it and be like, remember Trump was the president? Or as opposed to now where it's like, okay, I have some shit to say. I am going to run to the bathroom because I had too much water and coffee before we started. And that's just the level of professionalism we have here on the stream. Chris, Liz, you're in charge.
Yeah.
We got it. Back. Cool.
That's such about hair and stuff. We're just like,
yeah, that's it's been a while.
Keep it. You can borrow. I'll send you some of mine. I'm gonna get rid of some of it.
Cool. Yeah, all I need is glue and a steady hand.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff have you been writing about? Because that's the thing that I've been struggling with trying to write in here is like, I haven't done anything in a fucking year.
Dude, it's so funny. I have one joke that's exactly how it starts, because I was just like, this is all about having experiences, and I haven't left the house in a year. But then I say that I wrote one too many I'm bad at math jokes, and then I put them online. And that was too many, because a fan of mine was like, I'm a math tutor. I'd be happy to tutor you in math for free. And then that turned into a joke about how much I hate math. So I'll say about and this is what I like slightly appreciate about my brain, is that most of my jokes, even if they're pandemic related, I could probably take it out and they still are pretty evergreen. And I've always been an evergreen writer. I'm not very political, but even if I am, it's a social economic kind of political, or like a feminism, or you know what I mean, or like something that's like a more evergreen, it's always a problem kind of thing. But almost all my jokes are either just stuff I thought of, or stuff that the pandemic triggered. I did go through a breakup. I was with my boyfriend 4 years, and we broke up in September. So like, in general, going through a breakup sucks, but then going through a breakup when you can't leave the house, going and like, I think a lot of people lost people, and then I think a lot of people had breakups, and a lot of people lost their job. Like a lot of what I went through is super relatable, so I don't even have to get into like deep. The premise is almost like so quick because everybody's experienced that.
Yeah, they're already way into it. Oh, show her the size of the
with
bottle.
Water. That just doesn't seem a giant thing of water.
It's got affirmations on it.
You're
Keep
adorable.
chugging. Feeling awesome.
Yeah. But I feel you on the struggle of what do you write about? One, because I never, not that I was a political person, although I've become somewhat obsessed in, the last 4 years, let alone the last year. But, I always felt in some ways it was a waste of time because I don't want to say I'm a slow writer, but I build like these kind of stories and it takes me a while. And some jokes take 3 months to polish, and you spend 3 months polishing a joke and then it could be gone, especially in the Trump era where it's like scandal, 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 scandal.
But I think that the thing,
Done by the end of the week.
totally not different, but it's that thing of like, it's that difference of macro versus micro when it comes to politics, where it's like, talk about it in terms of the big issue of like mock the idea of the system or the power or the idea. But you like, I always get really annoyed at anything that really narrow casts. Like,
yeah.
And it was weird, the Trump, because everything was so quick with Trump, but it was like Bush. If we all remember the Bush era, like the amount of just shit George W. Bush jokes that we were subjected to.
Fruit.
And it's just like, but why aren't we making fun of the fact that like the institution has put this person in power? That like that people like Lewis Black is the best one because he kind of disguises it, and then it will be big topics that seem very topical, but really it's an observation, and he just says like Ben Bernanke, and then he just says something else. You know what I mean? It's very interesting that way.
Oh, always be doxing. I put in a sound alert for always be doxing.
What does that mean?
It's our motto. Always be doxing people.
Yeah,
ABD.
we're constantly just doxing people. Doxing means that you give people's personal information.
Oh, I know what doxing is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Not everyone does.
I'm just gonna be really friendly.
No, you'll be fine. I don't know where you are in Florida. I assume it's by the Everglades.
It's the racist part. It's all
Isn't
Florida.
that the?
Yeah.
It's called America.
We're the worst.
But going back to writing and stuff like that, I think that, and not to interrupt, but I think that that's the falling down place we get into politics. What's also very interesting now is that politics have really bled into comedy, and there sort of seems like there's kind of two camps of there's, you know, people that are calm and then people that have gotten like, it feels like they've gone right wing because they think that there's the money in it, and then they kind of like talking about Owen Benjamin at the top of the show, like where they believe there's money in it, and then they've kind of just lost it. Where it's like, I met you 5 years ago, you weren't fucking crazy. Now you're fucking crazy.
But you can even see that in politics. Like if you actually listen to politicians talk about like Lindsey Graham, they're like, this isn't the like Lindsey Graham wasn't amazing, but like this isn't the Lindsey Graham that people knew 5 years ago. Like, so in general, I think the dynamic of power and also the dynamic of I'm not trying to be famous, but I am trying to make a living at something I love doing. So every tier that I get higher makes me more financially stable and more likely to get work in a way that like isn't as hard. Correct? Yeah. So through notability and building a fan base, I'm able to pay my bills and get to do my favorite thing. Yeah. But then you look at politics and these people that, you know, get into this hopefully to change policy for the good or to help people. It starts to become a job where if they don't get reelected, they can't feed their kids, or they can't keep making the millions of dollars they're making. And I think both things come together, that when you start to have people a fan of you, or you start to figure it out, you just continue to go down. Like when somebody figures out an algorithm to something, they just keep going down that path, and they put on blinders and they stop looking at what a psychopath they are.
Oh,
and
my God.
I think if your goal is always, I care about my comedy and I want to be authentic and funny as I can, or I care about people and I want to help people as much as I can, then you have somebody like a Bernie Sanders who's been the same person since he was like 40 or like 20. Probably. I don't know how long he's been in politics. He's just been old.
Imagine him at 20. Imagine how unfun at a party Bernie Sanders would have been in his. I think you'll find absolute.
But when you pay attention to what's the core, you notice that people don't change. So like you could say whatever you want to say about Bill Burr, but Bill Burr has been the same writer the whole time, because he's just, now I'm not saying he doesn't progress or learn stuff or what have you, but he's been consistent as a human and a writer because he is just paying attention to being the best writer he can be. Now, when you have somebody that's trying to be famous, then you start to see like that comic is now always wearing like weird shoes, because I guess he has a bit about it and it always works.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Jesus Christ.
But they start to follow what works. And I think that that's where the similarity is with politics and any kind of art form, is when you notice something works, you just go towards what works, as opposed to being what the core value was, which was being funny or helping
Well,
people.
and just to make it a bit broader, but it's like in business, you see this sometimes is companies will start following they'll follow the trend as opposed to what the market need. Do you know what I'm saying? In the way that, like, hilariously, I just noticed it, like a huge uptick of dudes getting really fucking irritating on social media after they stormed the Capitol. And that's because also a lot of people aren't that smart when it comes to trends. So it was only then where they were like, I think this Trump guy might be around for a while. Better jump on this band. Like, it's crazy that people are still bandwagoning jumping and stuff like that. And Bill Burr is an interesting one. And the Bill Burr and I'm sure would disagree politically. Comedically, I think he's amazing and is able to get across things that I would disagree with philosophically in a way I can still laugh at, which is really fucking hard. That's really hard.
And that's the most incredible stand-up. That's like stuff of like, I absolutely disagree with this, but I fucking get where you're coming from. Way to plant that logic. That's insane.
100%. Like the amount of times, especially as a woman, that I've been like, this premise makes me angry. And then he takes me on a journey where I'm like, I still don't agree, but your logic is so hilariously ridiculous. And I now understand how you got there. Yeah. And it's, you know what I mean? And there's still jokes of his, and he actually is super supportive of a lot of people, especially women. And that always bothers me with comedy where they try to cancel people. And you're like, you cancel them because you didn't like a joke? Like, at least do a little digging and find out that these people are good people. Like, it just makes you angry. But I think in general, like, the comics that care about the reason we got into this, or I would like to think most people got into this, which is just writing unique, interesting perspective, like jokes. It just, I don't know.
100%. What's happening? I'm not monitoring the chat.
Oh, I just looked at Carolyn Clean. She's chipping in. Not enough service to Joe Rogan on this stream.
You're very good. Thank you very much, Carolyn Clean.
Carolyn Clean comes in with
someone in the chat has made a fake thing. We got a Facebook comment said there's too much swearing on the chat by someone named Carolyn Clean. And so someone else in the chat made a Twitch profile of Carolyn Clean, who just pops in every once in a while and lets us know what's going on. Thank you for joining the Hum Chum Skinner X. And I completely agree with you, but what I think is interesting when it comes to comedy is that there is this interesting line of like, because I've tried to sort of talk to people about that, like that sort of thing of like fame versus just doing it. And also like your dog is chasing a car. You're not going to know what to do with it until like when you get it, sort of thing. And you could just see guys. Who you are. Yeah, you just, and it's also like none of it's ever funny. Like the one thing that drives me crazy, if I never hear for the rest of my goddamn motherfucking life, political correctness is ruining comedy, it won't be fucking too soon. Because I'm just like, I've been hearing that for my entire human life. So you must be wrong because it would have happened by now, or it's totally fine. What it is you can't make fun of a Chinese person's bad driving anymore. You might have to work hard and actually write a new joke. So then, but it can't because you're just lazy. It has to be something. It's just annoying.
Well, it's also like what a lot of people forget is that, and it's crazy that people forget this because it's so obvious all the time in all parts of life, is you become who you spend time with.
Yes.
You become them. You can't help but become them. And it was like, I remember seeing it when I went to Toronto last year, and it was like, when I'd been there before, there was sort of, it was cliquey, but there were sort of like, it was a scene in general. And last time I went, it was down the middle. There were two scenes. There was the comedy bar scene where everyone is being either genuinely or performatively for the right things. And then there's the corner comedy club where they're either genuinely or performatively against the right things. And like they hated each other. They fucking hated each other. And I knew comics in both camps who had changed, genuinely changed in the way that, like,
go into the private chat and tell me who you're talking about right
in a bar. And and you just go, who the fuck is this goddamn person? And it reminded, I just watched Bridge on the River Kwai for the first time today. And I'm doing a film club with a couple friends for David Lean, who's the director. And that's how we've been passing lockdown. And there's like, John, you've definitely seen it. Liz, have you seen it?
I haven't.
So it's about a Japanese prison camp during World War II that's in Burma, and they're trying to build this bridge so a train can get across it. And basically there's this a British commander who at first like like does everything just to fight for his basically the rights of his men to have a good life, and by the end basically ends up running the prison camp himself to the point where he like undermines his own army's intentions because he's just become so into like the idea of this camp is everything and my life is it's the foundation of who I am at this point.
Yeah.
And you see that's Lindsey Graham. That's the like I need to put my head down and survive this, so this is how I'm going to do it. And then he became who he was going to become, and it's the same thing with the comics that end up going off the fucking deep end. It's
I have a
like,
great example. I had a friend from Spain that I went to college with, and he would say totes because he thought it was hilarious and he was making fun of people. And then he would always say it. He'd be like totes, and he thought it was so funny to say it because it was stupid. And then he just started saying it for real.
Yeah, you can't do things ironically because they stop being ironic. They just become who you are.
And then eventually it's in your brain and you start saying totes and you mean it.
I had that with bro.
I'm actually pretty close to that.
As have I, and I'm totally fine with it. I'm called like bro, bra. It's just saying sick. A very Australian thing. Yeah.
Sick, bro.
Sick. Yeah,
sick,
fucking,
bro.
Bro, sick. Like I'm into it. It's also just Brad, also wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, boys and guys is so Canadian. I had an ironic dance at uni. I made the mistake of doing it more than once, and then people started making fun of my dance, and I forgot it was supposed to be ironic. Oh,
no, that's like, I mean, it's such a, I was being silly, but you made such a real point, Chris, where it really is. I did a women's panel, like a women's comedy panel. And one of the things I said to people, because somebody was just like, well, how did you grow from, clearly all of us not knowing how to do it to the person that you became? And I go, some of it is, you work hard, you get better, you start to feel it. But some of it is, you might be in the wrong place. You might be in the wrong city. You might be around the wrong comics. And if you're in, I don't know, Boise, Idaho, and it's a bunch of dudes making fart jokes and that's not who you are, get out of there, because eventually you're going to become them to survive that environment, and you are going to diminish what makes you unique. And if the whole point is to have a unique, who you surround yourself can be people, it can be a community, it can be a city, it can be a country. Like that takes a lot of, I know that takes like money and self-esteem and all this other stuff, but it takes real, authentic knowing who you are to go, I can't grow here. And you do it eventually, like I think we all learn eventually in relationships, both friendships and romantic relationships, that when people are like, it didn't work out, why didn't it work out? You just go, I can't grow here. And it's weird that I think it does take everybody a long time to learn that, or at least maybe if you come from a damaged home. But I think that's something I intrinsically knew when it came to art, because I knew we all, like, if you're a comedy nerd, you grow up with such good comedy that you go, that's not good, and that's not good. And I know I'm not good yet, but I know this isn't good either. And they're not, even though they've been doing it longer, those aren't my peers. My peers are the people that are on TV that blew my mind, and I'm going to go find that. And I think that was where I was fortunate.
It's so damaging for stand-up to be in a place where no one is doing anything that you wish you were doing.
Yes.
That's the, like, I want to walk away from a show and be like, fuck, how did I not think of that? And that's, I mean, honestly, that's part of the problem I've had in the UK. That's why I'm looking forward to leaving eventually, is it's so rare that I see someone where I go, fucking this. And it's not because they're not great. It's just because it's not my style at all. There's a lot of cleverness here, and I fucking hate cleverness.
Yeah, to be dumb like Americans.
What also I found
just honest,
like heartbreaking in the UK, and it was a bit in Toronto, but then the UK is the big one where it wasn't all for one for all. That was the real heartbreaker for me, because I came from like a scene where it's like everyone was together and like we were a crew, and we all sort of started around time. And then you get to the UK and it's so big and people are going to have different opinions, and it was sort of weird where it was like, wait, I thought we were on the same side. And like being with bitter Canadian headliners in Toronto, where it's like, aren't we? You and me are pals, right, mister? And then they're just like, fuck you, kid. And you're like,
You're in LA, right, John?
That's right. I'm in Korean town, right as
we
we speak.
Were you in LA before the pandemic? I saw you in New York.
I was in LA before the pandemic. I literally, right before that. Yeah, I saw you in New York in February of 2020.
Yeah, I think I saw you right before I left.
Yeah, and then I I was supposed to come back to LA for 2 weeks, film America's Got Talent, and then fly to Australia. And instead I filmed America's Got Talent, no audience, and
Nice.
then have been in this apartment ever since.
Wow.
And
So you don't even know if you like the comedy scene out there, or have you visited enough that you do like it?
I was here for a year before the pandemic, and I like the comedy scene. I also really like the part of LA that really appealed to me weirdly, which I didn't think it was, is just because I was traveling so much and doing festivals and stuff like that, LA had a retreat vibe to it where it's like I can sort of sit and chill and you can go to shows, but it's like you can't go to a show every night and hang out, and you can, but it's like some of them aren't worth it. It's diminishing returns, and I just dug that. I also like that once you kind of go through the pretentious bullshit of LA and you just get to the actual working people in the comedy scene, it's very chill and fun and nice, and no one gives a fuck. And it's also, you just gotta like pierce through this membrane of genuine narcissistic mania, because like boy, the LA open mic scene is like people that are really good and also people where you're like, what, who, how, and it's amazing. And like, and also a bunch of really good things have happened in LA. I think that LA had a 3 to 5 year glut where no famous people were literally doing all of the club spots because there was a big wave of podcasts made a bunch of people super famous, and they had been mistreated by Eddie Griffin, Andrew Dice Clay, and a few other guys that would just do way too much time on stage. So they're like, no, it's our time to do spots at all the clubs. And so that just meant that a lot of people couldn't progress and move through. And now all of those people have moved to Austin or Tennessee or fucked off. And so it's kind of being
very specific.
I mean, the amount of people that move to Austin, it's not specific. Like, it's like,
no, it is. I did find
people.
It really, I wish harm on nobody, but I did find it very funny that like they're like, Austin is the new LA, New York. And then the power outage happened. And I was like, is it? Is it?
That was phenomenal. It was also, it's not. What it is Joe Rogan is a 100 millionaire. He moved to Austin because he wanted a better life. He's probably going to open a comedy club. He's one of those guys where a lot of people are like, I'll do what that guy does. He's so successful, not realizing you're not going to get his success replicating him.
Yeah.
Just do your own fucking thing, bruh.
Yeah. And make your own Austin. Like that's,
yeah.
I think that's what makes me sad sometimes is like, I'll see really talented people and I'm like, what you're doing already is great, but they haven't reached whatever level of success they want or they believe they want. And then they start adapting and then you just see them be this watered down garbage, but get successful. They get what they want. And you're just like, man, you had something to offer. Like you had something, and now you're just a cog in a wheel that might only last 2 years now when really you had 10 to 20 years of value and you just traded it in. It's that whole like, do you want a cookie now or do you want 3 cookies in 10 minutes?
Cookie now. Wait, what?
But I've always been a strategic. I've run marathons. I've always been I'll get 3 at the end. I've always been like, you run a marathon, you get all the donuts, Liz. You get all the donuts.
But you could have had all the donuts and not run. Don't you see? Don't you see, Liz?
Yeah.
You could have had more donuts and not run.
Yeah, I could have more donuts and then I don't have the ability to run.
There you go. You're fine.
You just got to go and rob them for their donuts. God damn it. Chris, are you a cat person? I know, Liz, you're a big cat person. Let's move off comedy for a few moments this week. I'm saying we're going another 15 minutes just because I've done a lot of talking on microphones and so I'm starting to fade. Chris, I assume you're fine. Liz, I assume you're fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I did do a 2.5 hour thing about Bridge on River Kwai today, so I am entering my 6th hour of streaming.
I'll just take over. It's fine, guys.
This is the Liz show.
If you want to do that, that's totally fine.
I just like hold up pictures. I'm like, this is a Maine Coon.
I wanted to ask, so big. Because as you traveled like to the level that I was traveling and that Chris was traveling as well, and now that are you out of living of you're back living out of a suitcase, I assume right now because you're with your friend in Florida. How does it feel to be back doing that?
Well, this is like I'm here for a month, so like my shit is like in a closet and in some drawers. I have my own room. I tell that she has 2 kids and 3 dogs, but I'm almost always telling the dog, get out of my room. Like they try to eat my dental floss, and my parents are veterinarians. So I'm like, I know how much that surgery costs. Don't eat my dental floss. But this to me, like the traveling was because I really have not. I've been on a plane 3 times in the last year, as opposed to I was on a plane every 3 days in my past life. So that caused me a bit more anxiety, and I'm wearing like 9 masks, and I have a face shield. Like I do all the things, and I don't care how crazy I look. But I never liked the physical travel, the getting up early, the packing, the unpacking, all that stuff is awful, and it doesn't ever get easier or any better. You just kind of have some systems, and at least, you know, I had a rule that didn't matter if I was only home for a couple of hours, you unpack. Like unpack it.
Yeah.
You have to unpack. It'll make you insane. But I would you know, because I have my fancy hair and all that stuff, I have everything is in their individual bags and they're labeled like a psychopath. And at least that stuff's always organized. It was weird to be like, oh, I have to like repurpose, like start to really make stuff. And then I was like, can I bring this on a plane? Like I had questions, you know what I mean? I was like, do I need a COVID test? I took one 2 days ago. Is that good enough? Like, I hate that I don't know everything that I did before, but I'm going to do a little bit of stuff in April, and I'm concerned that I'm out of traveling shape. Like,
yeah,
it's
takes
scary.
A toll.
Yeah. It's like now, because you don't even realize, like I always have like a low level anxiety of traveling and falling out of the sky, or my plane not taking off because of something and missing a show. Like I already have like a base level of they find heroin and a dead cat and COVID, you know, like all at once. So now that's extra anxiety, and you start to realize like that exhausts you. So by the time you go to do a show, you're like, I'm tired. So I worry that I've become an indoor cat and I got fat, and now I don't know how to be an outdoor cat.
I mean, we all know that that's not true at all, but I see your point of like, yeah, it does freak me out. But I also like, I look at it almost as the flip side of, I'm like, I'm really fucking happy I fucking stopped for a minute. Like I look back at how I felt a year ago, and I was like, I was gonna I just was gonna fucking snap and fall asleep and not get up for a long time, because it's just one of those things where it's like I can just work myself to death and I won't stop, and that's what it felt like. And I'm just like, see you, David Hoare. I was just like, I got it. It was like such a blessing this year of like, okay, here are the things I want to do, here are the things I'm not going to do. And in terms of travel and stuff like that, like you said, the early mornings, I officially made it. I'm like, I will lose money on the gig for the rest of my life. I am not fucking taking early flights.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't.
That is going out the window a month into regular life again.
Yeah.
You're too hard a worker, John. You don't have it in you.
No. I'll still do it.
You need the cookie now.
No, I'll still do the job, but I'm not taking the.
I would take the 5-6 a.m. flight, because they always take off and they're the cheapest flight. And I think both the paranoia and the fact that we're always trying to get as much money as possible. I kind of agree. This is, even in the few little flights I took, I'm taking, like, I leave on Wednesday. I took an 11 o'clock flight. I would never do. Now, there's nothing to come home to, so I'm not stressed. Like before, it's like you want to make sure you get there so the gig actually happens. And then I want to be home for the max amount of time I'm going to be home. I got to do laundry. I want to do gigs. I want to see my friend. So like it might change as well. But I guess I miss seeing my friends. Like my favorite part about the fact that I have friends all over the world is that I'm most likely going to see them once or twice a year because I travel. Like even my friend that lives here, I see her a fair amount, because if I'm anywhere in Florida or Georgia, she comes to me or I go to her. Like the nice thing is that I have a variety of friends and I keep in pretty good touch with them because I travel. And I miss having a unique life. My Instagram was really dope. Like it really was like jealousy worthy. And I like that. I like being better than people. I like it.
We still are better than people. Like you have to remember that everyone else is eventually going to have to go back into an office, and we get to continue to just be like, oh, I'm just from home.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing everyone needs to remember. Like everyone's like, yeah, you're going back. Like, no, we'll still be here. We just got to figure this out. You know what I mean? Which we will. God, we will.
I can't wait to do shows again.
You have these moments as a DJ where you just elongate words that don't need to be elongated. I like it.
It's called broadcasting. I learned it from David Letterman. Oh no, I can't wait. I just also like, there's certain things I don't miss. There's certain comedy club owners. Not actual people, but the archetypes, because there's only about 5 of them that I'm like, I'm out of here. Like I just
Liz-
can't do it anymore.
Liz, can you describe the guy from Switzerland in your eyes who ran the shows? Do you remember him?
Did you guys do them together?
Yeah, that's where we met.
That's
was
how we
doing the
became
Switzerland.
besties. Can I tell the story on the train?
Tell all of the stories because he's a lunatic.
So he was going through a divorce, and we were on a train going from like one city to another, and he gets a call, I think probably from his ex-wife, and he just starts screaming at her, like screaming. And like keeping, small European trains, like our knees are touching, and we're all like sitting there. And then there was that other Swiss comic.
Yeah.
So it's all of us kind of in small quarters. He starts, and like what's funny about it is when he got work calls, he would go in like the vestibule and talk work, but he just sat there screaming at his wife. And like I'm very insecure being American. So like I don't talk a lot when I'm overseas. Like if I go into a store, I just come up like I don't want them to know I don't know the language or that I'm American. So I'm not a notoriously quiet person, but when I'm abroad, I'm pretty quiet. And all of a sudden, everybody's looking at us. And I think it was you. You're like, that's the call you decided to sit for? That's the one you didn't leave for? It was so funny.
Wait a minute, you said that to God. Oh, I almost said his name. Yeah. You said it to his actual face. You said that?
I laughed so uncomfortably hard because it was like so funny, but also like I'm a woman. Like I was like getting triggered. I was like, this man is violently screaming at his ex-wife about his kid. Like he was clearly cared about his kid and is passionate, but it was just so funny that he would get up, talk to a business person, sit down, get up, talk to a business person, sit down. And then, I mean, like, are you fucking, you always fucking do, this is what you fucking, do you not care about our fucking son? And I'm like, my knees are touching this man. Like, I'm just like, and he hangs up. That's the call you decided to sit for? It's so fucking funny. I was so scared of him. And he was so nice to us, by the way.
So nice, so supportive. Remember that big empty auditorium where he paid us anyway?
Yeah.
There were like 4 people in there.
Or like he would take us out to dinner, like a nice dinner, and like you were kind of like, but like the way he would say it was like he'd be like, "You're welcome." Like it was almost this gruff New York, go fuck yourself. But he would do the nicest stuff, and it like he genuinely like scared me. And then he just told so many stories about people like in like impeding on his space, and I was like, that's not how spaces work. Like he's just crazy paranoid.
I liked a Facebook page of a guy who was trying to bring me to Switzerland because he asked me to. And I was like, sure. And within 20 minutes, I got a message from that guy just being like, these fucking pirates are trying to take my comedy scene away. Called them pirates. Can you do me a favor? Don't support it. Can you not like their page? I was like, whatever, man. I didn't want to like it in the first place. For you, unlike, no problem.
Choco bread basket. Please tell me who you are, because I know you've told me this story super recently. Like this, because as Liz was going into it, I'm like, is Liz the person who's handicapped? Don't like just you can. Oh, it's Bishop.
Oh, yes. Gotcha.
Bishop?
Yeah. Yes. He'd come up recently, and this was in the chat again. Fuck. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
So fucking bleak.
Do you remember all his FBI conspiracy theories?
Dude, he was sending me crazy messages after, because he was going to bring me back. And I was like, sure, I'll go back. Oh, I was supposed to do it in, I told Maria, because Maria was going to open for me. I was supposed to go back in March of 2020, and that got all messed up. He was scaring the shit out of me to the point where I had to message, like, you know, when you bring somebody into your accidental crazy. I remember he was crazy, but he got so much crazier. And I had to be like, Maria, just don't reply to him. We're going to ignore anything that isn't comedy based, because he was starting to send some crazy stuff. And I was like, whatever, as long as this guy pays me and these flights take on and off. But
isn't that insane about our business that you're literally like, wait a fucking second. This fucking crazy, like this crazy son of a bitch is the difference between me paying my rent or not. So I'll just be like, yep, you're right. Yep, Justin Trudeau is a fetal alcohol baby. I would love that money in cash, actually. That'd be great.
Well, this is the other thing that happened. I don't think I told this to you, Chris. So Judah Friedlander asked me for a bunch of European stuff. This was like maybe 2 years ago. So we did our thing, what, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it sounds
we think. So like 2 years ago, Judah was like, I want to do Europe more. Can you send me a bunch of stuff? So I made him a big list. I sent, I'm the John of the East Coast. You ask me, I deliver. And I said, this is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. This. And I gave a little warning. I was like, but harmless, but cuckoo. But he's beyond harmless cuckoo. He was so fucking crazy to Judah. When like, Judah's big. And so like, he was so crazy to Judah that Judah was like, hey, can I call you? And I was like, sure. And he's like, is this guy batshit crazy? And then he sends me the email and I'm reading it while on the phone with him. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He was not this crazy. Wow. And like, he's like, I'm going to block him. I was like, you should block him. I apologize. He was like, he inquired about it. Judah was like still trying to figure out what he wanted to do and where he was going to go in Europe. He was like, maybe after Germany, I'll go here. Like, he is just like booking all this stuff himself, planning. And this dude went fucking nuts on him to the point where Judah called me scared. And I was like, I gave a scary person to Judah. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So and what's funny about that is I still booked it with him because I was like, I can handle his crazy, but he was too far gone. And then I was already booked and that's how my flight home was. And when you're like, I'm too in, bro.
Did you end up doing it? Did you end up doing it again? Or
I was supposed to do it a second time with Maria, but then and like when things were starting to get serious with the pandemic, it was like just so clear that Switzerland wasn't going to happen. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll still be able to go to Germany and Sweden. And then Germany and Sweden were like, come. And I was like, dude, if I get stuck in the UK, I can live here. I can sleep at Maria's, but I don't know anybody in Germany. I didn't know somebody in Sweden, but you don't want to be, you don't know how, we didn't know how long we were going to be stuck.
You also don't want to stay in Sweden. Like it's a toilet.
Yeah.
It is. Every Swedish person except for Evelyn Mock is a bag of shit human being, and their entire nation can fall in the sea.
Evelyn Mock is great. I haven't met her personally, but I heard nothing but wonderful things. Elaine Gabbett, she's Russian.
See, that means
Swedish though.
That's not Swedish.
That's a valid point. She was originally from Russia. And then I had an old babysitter that I always see, and she's wonderful. But she wanted to live in the US. So I think she didn't. She moved back, but she definitely was like, I want to be here. And I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
Sweden loved the Nazis, and then the Nazis lost, and then they act like that didn't happen. Like they're 100%. Their history is basically like what happened in 1939 to 1945. Nothing. Shut up.
Yeah. Shut.
Yeah. And how you know that is you just ask. Oh, Liz froze. Oh, she's back. Yeah, you just ask Finland or Denmark what happened, and they'll let you know. They'll be like, "Oh, they sided with the Nazis, and then we got invaded."
Yeah.
Well, it was also the Nazis' wet dream. Every single person was like, I think you like us. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you go to a dance and you're like, do you actually want to dance with that guy? And you're like, no, but he thinks I'm really pretty and it's nice to be picked. Like, I'm sure you guys relate to this analogy.
I mean, when's the last time you went to a dance?
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, who are you?
Such an East Coast American thing too is to call yourself, to give yourself your full name. Shit, like, come on, John Robert. Like, it's just like you got Christopher. Was that a nice hot sock hop with a gentleman? You know what I mean? You're wearing a dress with a poodle on it,
right? Like, if you're not here, people aren't going to remember what a moron I am.
No, I mean we'll record it and play it.
We'll remember, like
alert.
Next time I see you, you're going to be like, remember?
Yeah. Remember when you talked about a sock hop? You know what I mean? You're heading off to the mint julep stand. I was amazed at there was a guy. I remember in September I had a bunch of clubs booked in and I was like, these aren't happening. And 2 of the clubs were like, nope, we're doing it. And I just literally went, I'm not booking flights, but I won't cancel. Fucking let's see who blinks first, motherfuckers. And they blinked because the federal government kept them closed.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it's a purposeful killing off of dead wood that stand-up needs, and I bring that around to that crazy person that was in Sweden or in Switzerland, because maybe he won't survive, and better, more mentally stable people will start running our goddamn business.
Nope, can't stop them, especially in Europe. There's a whole subset of bookers out there who are only there because their bitch of an ex-wife took their kid. That is like a whole
real motivating. They have nothing
category.
else.
That's the amount. And what's so funny is any of them could be listening. All of them think we're talking about them. We are not. What are the odds that the guy from Switzerland messages one of us about this, about us
He
talking
doesn't
about
know.
I mean, the way it would happen is like truly like, you know how like you start talking about like, hey, I saw a pair of Keds and they looked waterproof and cool, and then next thing you know you get ads for it and you're like, my phone is listening, and they're like, your phone's not listening. You're like, it's pretty obviously that's listening. But like life also works that way where like you're just like, I haven't talked to my buddy Prakash in a while. I feel like you know what, his mom wasn't doing well, I'm going to check in. And then before you go to check in, he's like, hey, how are you? And you're like, dude, I was thinking, like, I feel like that's gonna happen where he's gonna be like, Switzerland's back, you guys coming? And we're gonna be like,
I killed the FBI and my bitch ass wife. You guys want to come help me bury the body? You can do time while we're in the graveyard. Oh God, I can't believe I'm actually.
I am terrified of him.
Yeah, I mean, so many. The amount of just fucking email tough guys there are that are UK or like European comedy bookers, like the amount of just like, oh, if I fucking see that guy, I'll kill him. And I'm just like, I think it's therapy where I'm now just want to be like, I'll get him here. How much is that flight? Yep, he'll be here in the morning. Then what are you gonna fucking do?
Did you hear about the one who actually got his ass kicked?
Who?
Which one?
I love these stories.
I can't remember his name, but he was he just started commenting. This is years ago. It was like 8 years ago. But he just started commenting under this comics post and just shit talking him, and then was like, "I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you in a warehouse, specifically a warehouse." And the comics like, "All right, that's it," because the guy started saying stuff about his girlfriend, and he was like, "Okay, now it's for real. Now we're not joking. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out." And the guy was like, "Bring it on." And
there's a version of this that I do know that I know the people's names. I don't know if this is like yours.
Oh, private chat, because that might be it.
You get left out of everything.
No, you can see the private chat too.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes, you see on the side it says comments, banners, brand, private chat settings.
Where's the private chat?
Okay, so there's the chat, and then there's like a little gear.
I see it.
Yeah. Head in there.
I'm in it. Guys,
those names. Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so nice having
private chat
this.
gets used a lot.
Yeah. If not, I'm telling this story and I'm putting these people's names out there because it's so good.
Oh, I don't know anybody.
No, it's not them.
This story is fucking great. Okay, Ron Vaudry is a bitter husk of a bag of shit human being.
So angry. He's so fucking angry.
And by the way, if it gets back to you, I'm gonna use this opportunity to let you know my name is John and not Josh, and you know that because we've been on shows together and people have to say my fucking name. Anyway, so I wish I had been there for this. I was not there for this, but someone was. Ryan Denny is from Kingston, Ontario, which is like Kingston, Ontario has one of Canada's nicest universities and then like 8 of Canada's biggest prisons. Like it's on the Canadian American border. Yeah. So there's a huge element of the underworld there. Ryan Denny does not fuck around. At the time, did not fuck around. And you know what? I'm going to say it. He probably still doesn't. He has a lovely family and a very nice wife. Ryan doesn't fuck around. Anyway, Ron Vaudry's trying to fucking big dog him as the headliner. And Ryan, in the middle of it, just stands up from the table as they're like having a drink before the show and goes, I don't know what I fucking did to you or what you fucking think I did. He said something and basically went, if you fucking talk to me for the rest of this weekend, we're going to go outside and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Wow. And Ryan Denny, by the way, is the nicest human being, but clearly just has that gear. Ron was trying to be a big dog. If you aren't actually a big dog and you're pretending, sometimes you go and get bit. And he very nearly did. And apparently was bringing Ryan food, bought him dinner the next day. Was really oh, it's so good.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Watch some Ron Vaudry stand-up comedy to end this.
He's so angry, man. He's so
How is he one of those guys that's been doing it forever?
Yeah.
Like forever. His only credit is Arsenio. It's so good.
You know what's so funny? Like I got my first TV credit when I was 22 years old. So I started when I was 16. I was on Live at Gotham on Comedy Central when I was 22. And I think we all kind of know the further you get away from your credit. And I was like, I can honestly say I was fortunate. I was very, very young and I was a decent writer, not amazing, but enough that I stood out both by being very young, being a woman, and having somewhat decent. So I got passed at a lot of clubs and I was getting paid work during the week, but like enough that I was like, I'm sure people were like the way I feel about some young comics where I'm just like, you know, respect your elders and people with more experience. But I had that and I know that. So I got on TV when I was 22. I think it was even now I'm like, it was decent, but I tried to get the stuff rolling and it didn't. I auditioned for everything, got nothing. And I hit my bitter phase in my 20s.
Nice.
And I was quite bitter, and there's people that definitely knew me in my bitter phase. I also went through like a really bad breakup where I thought I was going to like marry this person. You know what I mean? Like everything, I lost my manager. It felt like nothing was working out. And then this guy dumps me and it just felt devastating. I went through like a 2-year, you know, whatever. But like, I feel like at some point you have good enough friends that are like, you seem the worst.
Yeah.
And I feel so fortunate that I had friends that were like, you are unpleasant to be around. And therapy might be a way to fix that. And you look at somebody like this guy who I don't know, and you're like, you don't have any real friends. Like,
oh, don't make it real, Liz. What the hell? You're ruining our good fun.
He doesn't have any friends.
Did that never occur to you about Ron Vaudry?
I mean, it did, but I loved it.
Sorry, but that's what you really like that's now when I see somebody that's like unbelievably like you're just like, I cannot stand this person. And it's like visceral, like fuck them. I think, oh, you don't have any friends because you wouldn't have gotten this far down the shithole if somebody was like, hey man, what's going on?
Well, those guys
angry, sad.
100%.
Those guys have other angry, sad friends. They just have friends that none of them listen to each other, but they all allow the others to bitch. And so it's like, there's no need for growth. We've created space for stagnation. Everybody takes their turns.
627 views. We're going to be 628 views. Let's do this.
5 likes to 4 dislikes. What do we do, guys? We can turn the tide.
Boom. The name's John Hastings. You prick.
Excellent. Always starts off good when you assault the audience on the way up on stage. Excellent. Hey, let's have a hand for everybody in the show tonight. Wasn't it an awesome show? Got a lot of talent here. We're going to need more clubs. There's not enough clubs for this much talent. You're wondering about the accent. I'm from Canada. We'll get that out of the way. I'm back.
Here's by the way, what I love about not living in the UK anymore is I don't have to explain being from Canada versus the US. Because after about 2 years, I started being like, the reason why I have to explain it is because you're all a bunch of xenophobic bags of shit and don't understand that without America, you guys would literally be the toilet off the coast of Europe that you are, you yucky, wet assholes.
I stopped doing it for a while, and then it slipped out in the middle of my set, and 2 guys came up to me after the show, and they're like, you should have told us you were Canadian earlier. We were purposely not laughing. It's like,
fuck you. Yeah, it's interesting. I wish you had told me that you were English, so I would have purposely let you know that there were some weapons of mass destruction hidden somewhere, and you'd be like, well, it doesn't matter. We're still invading.
A few things you need to know about me. First of all, that I'm from Canada. Secondly, I swear a lot for a Canadian. You guys don't notice it much here, but as a Canadian, they fucking notice.
He got him. Got his ass.
I make no bones about it. I make no apologies. I see it as the verbal spice of social satire.
By the way, he looks about 90% more homeless now than he does in this clip. It's really throwing me that he looks like a person with a job.
Have you seen him more recently than this?
Yeah, this is 2016, right?
Is it?
Yeah, September 2016.
Oh boy. I mean, he just said this the fun spice on social satire, and right there I just want to fucking huck my like how about like something that he's definitely said to a bunch of women who were on stage being very funny, but he doesn't know how to deal with it. Like, tell us a joke, you fucking gray hair. Wait. I think I had to stay at the stand house with this guy. Oh no!
That sounds right. That's a long weekend, man. Damn.
Oh, he's smoking inside
Comic
for
once
sure.
said you don't have to swear to be funny, and that's true, but you don't have to drug women to have sex either. So go fuck yourself, Bill Cosby.
Oh. I thought he was making a rape joke. He was making a Bill Cosby joke.
Yeah. It took me a second. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it took me. Yeah, he didn't. Here's the problem: is he took his mouth away from the microphone when he went Bill Cosby, so it just sounded like he was really pro that activity. Oh boy!
And your condescending morality. Yeah, you may leave here tonight because I said cunt, but nobody's going to wake up tomorrow morning with no memories and a belly button full of swear words.
He's so fucking proud of that.
I'll try to maintain that subtlety all evening. Also, I don't talk with the audience. I'm a monologist. It just leads to trouble when you break script and talk to the audience. You never know what's going to happen. A couple of weeks ago, tabled ladies, about 12 ladies, all different.
Didn't happen, or it
No.
happened years ago. All
Yeah.
right, enough watching this bitter husk. But that, spent my 20s in cars with those kind of guys. No wonder I have issues. Liz, let's talk about your plugs. What would you like to plug?
We subtly brought up cats earlier.
Yes. Did someone write a book about cats?
I
Available
did.
from Simon and Schuster, no less.
Ooh.
The imprint of note, an author of note, Chris, on our very stream. Didn't even
My
mention
goodness.
You know that thing
Yeah.
you just want to pet or watch a video of activities with? I wrote literature about it.
You wrote a literature about a dog? Whoa, zing ya!
So I have a book called Why Cats Are Assholes. It comes out March 30th. You can pre-buy it now. It's silly. It talks about the history of cats, how to name your cat, a lot about my cat. It is for no one. But it comes out March 30th. I also have a podcast with Maria Shahada.
The link to her podcast and her book is to
Aw.
be found right here in the chat. Thank you so much, Alex Watson.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then I have a podcast called Two Non-Doctors with the very funny Maria Shahada that is weekly. And I have a free special on YouTube called Self Help Me. I taped it in November of 2019. I put it out in May of 2020. Go watch it. Some of the jokes are still relevant.
Yeah. Filmed in what the UCB was using in New York, which the name of which I never remember, but it's a great
I never
face.
even remember it too. I have to think about it. Something with an S.
It's like the yard. It was because I remember
It was great.
I was
Tiny
playing it-
theater.
Cool.
Yeah, I was playing it a bunch when I was in New York before my wedding in October of September and October of 2019. And then I remember, because you filmed it in November, and I saw posters for it. And I'm like, fuck, that's a great place to film a special because it also doesn't look New Yorky.
No,
You know
it's really it's really gonna bother me that I can't, because they were really awesome. I hope they still exist. They seemed like they had money. Crap. I'm gonna tell you what it's called.
UCB at the Blinken.
No, because it's in my when you put in a YouTube video. Fuck you, internet. It's gonna make
John,
me
you want to do
angry.
your plugs?
Yeah, do your plugs and I'll interrupt you.
I do. You can. I'm gonna do a Twitch stream again tomorrow morning when I wake up. I don't know what time that's gonna be, but I'll see you then.
Stay out of my yard, Hastings.
Guess a fucking guess, Bets. I do what I fucking want. I fucking
Get outta here.
I brought you into this world to bring you the fuck out.
You're a regular Chris Martin.
What time are you doing your streams? Roughly?
I do them at
So
2:30.
2:30. Oh, now you're gonna make me do math. 2:30 to 4. I'm probably gonna do it around the 8 o'clock hour, so there'll just be some bridge. There'll be some overlap.
All right.
Don't bother me. I
Um,
can't find
But I'm
it.
planning on getting super high and eating a burrito in about 30 minutes. So we'll see what time I actually get up in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Also, guys, let me plug weed. Never liked it before. Really good when you're having a lot of stuff going on in your life and it's very tumultuous and you just want to really enjoy some Top Chef. Also, season 4. Who the fuck's going to win? I don't know. It's 2008 in the show. I just wish I could go back and warn them. Also, please listen to my podcast, The Rest of the Review, if you want to come. And, I'm on Greg Houston's show on Friday. Greg, I will tell you that I'm going to look at that email tonight. It's going to be a couple of hours. And I am doing new material on Zoom on Friday. Email John Hastings, a podcast at gmail.com to get an invite link. Chris, plugs, thoughts?
Well, Liz, did you find that out? Did you think?
No.
Oh,
I don't even understand how. It's somewhere.
Also, if you're watching John and you don't follow or subscribe to him, follow and subscribe to him. Follow John, subscribe to John.
Yeah, subscribe and follow to me.
Yeah.
Subscribe and follow. Fuck,
Yeah.
we're at 508 followers in just over 6 months of doing Twitch, which is pretty impressive, I would say.
Proud of you guys.
Nice.
So
Thank
proud.
I am on here. I'm on every afternoon at 2:30, and I do my show Versus, which is always also a podcast. I've got Liz coming on. Liz and Carmen Lynch are going to come on and do it. John's been on it. I have a bunch of great comics. I'll debate with comics. It's very silly. The Chris Betts Versus podcast. I also do a podcast about alt rock in the 90s, specifically the Canadian compilation Big Shiny Tunes called Big Shiny Podcast. So check that out. It's very silly. We just interviewed the drummer from Our Lady Peace. And he does not get along with Rain Maida.
Do you know who Our Lady Peace is, Liz?
I do. Yeah. Super.
Oh,
I like 90s music. So I feel like
It's so
if you like
90s.
90s music, it all just kind of.
I mean, I have to tell you, and this isn't just because I do a goddamn Twitch stream with him every day. If you like 90s music, you should listen to the Big Shiny podcast because it's so like they're academically going through 90s music and it's not mean, which is very rare.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
I think every person goes through the nostalgia of the music when they're younger, and in general, I've realized it's very calming to me. Like if I feel like I'm really stressed about a gig or like I'm like in my head about something, like I could just like truly put on music I listened to in the 4th grade and like feel okay, and it's a little weird.
Oh yeah. I was listening to Goldfinger the other day.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to Goldfinger in forever, and I was like,
They
this
were the
is
veg-
right. This
They're
is
the
right.
vegetarian punks, man.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. Is there anything else that I do? Join my Discord. We're starting a book club. You want to come read some books? Talk some shit about some authors? Get on in. We'll read Liz's book. We'll learn about cats.
Yeah, I would love for you guys to
that's
stick on it.
That's a great cross promotion opportunity that if you guys just started doing just started reviewing people that come on the chat's books, that'd be wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
I would like take all the constructive criticism. I was like, I could see that this is too many chapters about cats. This is very valid. Thank you, Chris.
How
Like,
many pages is your book about cats?
It's 200, but keep in mind, I always it's like this size. It's not like a real it was supposed to be a stocking stuffer. It's supposed to come out November of 2020, but shipments and blah blah blah. And then I was like, and then it was supposed to come out for Valentine's Day, and I was just like, a Valentine's Day stocking, right? And that didn't happen. And then it was supposed to come out March. So it's just like it just keeps getting pushed back. So now I'm just like, your friend you haven't seen in a year, she deserves a book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
that's great.
definitely pre-order it. If you know you're going to buy it, don't wait until it's out. Pre-order it because then
that helps us.
based on
It helps.
pre-orders, bookstores order more and they're more likely to promote it. So if you want to help out Liz, pre-order that book.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Great.
for coming
And
on. It's great to see you.
Who are we going to raid, Christopher? Who do you have?
Oh shit! I forget every goddamn time.
Or does anyone have any suggestions in the chat of who to raid? But be
What is-
quick about it because I have to pee again.
What are
I'm
you
so
rating?
glad I have my new computer. Oh, do you know what rating is? Are you
So
a
on
Twitch person?
Twitch, what you do is you basically take your audience. So we have over all of our things, 19 people watching us live. We take that audience and we dump it to another show that's going.
Oh, that's so kind. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Roscoe's got 300, so let's go with Jonathan Ong because Jonathan Ong, I don't think will have 300 people.
Is that his name? I do not know Jonathan Ong. Is he in the chat? Okay, gotcha. Jonathan Ong. He's on 136. He's playing music.
Ooh.
Very nice. What's the raid message?
Pre-order Liz Mealy's book with the link.
Yes.
Can you put Alex? Can you put the link in the chat and where's the link? And so we can all just do that. That's very.
That's very
Can't
funny.
fucking copy and paste so everyone else can do it, but I can't. Damn it.
I'll do it and I'll put it in private.
Right. Thank you. Let me get ready to raid. This is the problem with these things is they end kind of lackluster because we have to do all this admin.
Yeah, there's no just walking, thank you, good night, and then the music starts playing. There's
yeah.
I like organization and I like struggle. So this is really just really nice for me.
This is just really just this is everything you've ever wanted.
I love seeing my friends just disappoint themselves.
Good. Good.
I'm not
good.
your worst guest.
Not even close. We might get banned for spamming. No.
It is entirely plausible. What about just
no,
buy
okay, man.
Liz Mealy's book?
The link is what makes it funny, though.
Yeah, but we also might get banned.
I
Don't get banned.
then we got banned. Like, I mean, I don't understand why. I didn't
But
realize that.
it would be our viewers that would get banned, not us.
Oh,
that's
don't
true.
get your viewers banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say, all right, this right. Buy Liz Mealy's book.
Yeah, by Liz Mealy's book.
Buy Liz
I'm an
Mealy's
author
book.
now.
Goddamn right.
All right, we are
Medium, cat
rating.
lover. She's got it all.
Yeah, she's got cats. She made it out of Sweden. Thank you for subscribing, Wandering Joy. Muchly appreciated. And we are rating now. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And turn this sucker off. Oh, bye, Liz.